on all the latest infections, salmonella, E. coli, hantavirus, bird flu, and Americans panic easily, so now everybody's running around, scrubbing this and spraying that, and overcooking their food and repeatedly washing their hands, trying to avoid all contact with germs. It's ridiculous, and it goes to ridiculous lengths. In prisons, before they give you a lethal injection, they swab your arm with alcohol. It's true. It's true. It's true. Well, they don't want you to get an infection. And you can see their point. Wouldn't want some guy to go to hell and be sick.
George Carlin, 20-plus years ago, talking about people's obsession with germs. And now we're right back in the coronavirus. And everybody freaking out about that. And it's hard to figure out where you fall on the coronavirus spectrum. Is this a one that's going to get everybody eventually? Or is it, in the immortal words of Presidential Medal of Freedom recipient Rush Limbaugh, just the common cold that the Chinese created to take down Trump? Listen, who knows which one it is, but if you've noticed...
Freedom statement if I've ever heard one.
If you have noticed, Dick Pound trending on social media today. You might not necessarily associate that with the coronavirus. I certainly didn't know that that's what it was. Of course I clicked on Dick Pound. I wanted to know precisely what was going on there. Turns out it's a guy named Dick Pound.
That's a great name.
He is the longest-serving member of the International Olympic Committee, and the reason they are in the news is because they've got to figure out if the coronavirus is going to affect...
So many jobs. That would have been so much better for him.
I agree.
Butcher, masseuse.
Masseuse, that's an extra $30,
For
Bill.
Dick Pound?
Dick Pound, yeah. Here's your like a massage therapist.
Yeah.
Or like a physical therapist. A doctor.
Personal trainer.
Dr. Dick Pound.
Yeah, Dr. Dick Pound.
Well, this guy chose
Call
to be
me Dr. Dick.
I want him to name whatever business he has Pound Town.
Well, he is part of the International Olympic Committee. I don't know what
salesman.
his... Yeah, I don't
Hammer
know.
salesman. Yeah, there you go.
I don't know what his area of expertise is, but he said there's a 3-month window where they have to decide if they're going to have to postpone the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Everybody associated with this, other than Dick Pound, says we ain't moving the Olympics. There's a lot more that goes into this. By that time, the coronavirus will be fine. What, 3 months? It'll be fine. He said
worse. We'll see.
He said we got to know. We have to figure out if the coronavirus is going to create problems that will force us to reevaluate the Olympics, because you got to worry about your security and your food and the hotels and all kinds of stuff. Everything that obviously goes into the Olympics. They said if they can't do them properly, they will cancel them altogether.
Wow. That's a big one. That's never happened. Right? Have they ever canceled the Olympics?
I don't know if
so.
I don't know if the Olympics have
I
ever
think
been
they
canceled.
have.
You think so?
I think so.
They didn't cancel them when Hitler was running them.
Yeah. I want him to be Dick Pound to be a tow truck driver. Dick Pound's impound? Come on. We'll bring him in, you pull him out. This is perfect. All right, fine.
No. Listen, you whatever you want to do. Dick Pound's impound. I think you know,
an animal shelter would be more appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Dick's Pound. Mm-hmm. Dogs no one wants. But again, if you're like me and you had no idea that was a person,
Dick Pound's Hound Pound.
You have really been led astray by clicking on that hashtag today. So, as far as the Olympic Committee goes, he is their longest-serving member.
Yeah, he is.
He's been pounding the pavement for quite some time.
And he's out there erecting some concern over the 2020 Olympics. You know, and this looking at this guy looks angry. He looks like all the blood rushed to his head before he gave this press release or
well,
whatever.
He knows a lot about the situation. You could say he's swollen with knowledge.
He's swelling with pride over the potential 2020 Olympics. So he goes, if you If this virus is not under control, we're looking at a cancellation. The coronavirus, whatever you think of it, is now on 6 continents. Brazil just got their first case. And you figure Brazil is probably looking at it like, hey, here's a virus we didn't have yet. Like holy cards. Need it, got it, need it, got it. They're like,
Took us long enough.
yeah,
Right.
we got everything else from Carnival.
What is
Now
what's
we got the
safe-
coronavirus.
Is the safe continent Antarctica
Probably.
Maybe.
or Australia?
A guy in Sao Paulo who just got back from Italy is the first known case in Latin America. Huge outbreak in Iran, by the way. I was looking at the countries that have it and where they're having the most trouble. And Iran is having, you might have seen the video of the Iranian foreign minister or somebody saying that this is all blown out of proportion as he's like sweating profusely and coughing. And now
Oh, no.
he has the coronavirus.
There's what, 57 cases in America?
In the United States,
Yeah.
57 cases out of 350 million people. But looking at the countries that have it, obviously in China, they've got like 28,000 cases or 58,000 cases or whatever. But there are a lot of countries that have it now. South Korea and Japan. Italy had a huge explosion of it. And so depending on who you talk to, people who know these things, virologists and doctors and experts, they go, well, we're not going to be able to stop it, but we might be able to mitigate, whatever happens in this country.
Can we just chicken pox it and just give it to everybody and then just get it over with?
I don't think it works that way.
Just get it, bring your kids
works that
together,
way.
have like a chicken pox party where you...
Everybody scratches each other?
Yeah, well, everybody gets the virus, and then it's better to get it when you're young. So maybe this one, we just get it over with, and then we build up an immunity to the coronavirus.
Yeah, but then they're always mutating, so it would take some kind of different form, and then
Yeah, but then we're gonna get
the next coronavirus.
Shingles. What's going to be the adult version of shingles? It's going to come back 10
Corona
years from now.
shingles, Yeah. Corona
And it'll
shingles.
be Bud Light Lyme virus. It's worse for you.
Health officials in this country are saying that the United States, at least, should be prepared for severe disruptions to everyday life.
Woo.
That communities and schools and businesses and... See, what's going to be fun, though, is when it reaches the point in this country where people feel comfortable lying and calling work and saying they have the coronavirus. Because you can't do that yet.
I feel a little corona-y today. Can't come in.
Oh, you know what? I got the virus.
Because with 57 cases, that's nothing.
One per state.
But when you get to the point where you could conceivably call work and go, man, I think we're way off from that.
Yeah.
I got a touch of the CV, the COVID-19. But they said the spread of this in the United States is inevitable. They said 98% of people survive. This is not... Limbaugh's taking a bunch of heat because he called it the common cold or whatever. But guys like Limbaugh and Trump, they're pissed because it's affecting the stock market, because that's what rich dudes care about.
Right.
So they're like, this is all made up, and it's...
How is it affecting the stock market?
Because all these... there's going to be
'cause China.
economic ripples, because China's shut down, and... companies that do business around the world, I mean, if it's on a whole bunch of continents and, it makes people nervous. So all these guys care about...
It's money.
Trump blames the media. Frankly, even if you are a Trump fan, aren't you sick of this pissy bitch blaming somebody at every single turn?
No, these people love blaming people for their problems.
That's
That's their
I mean,
whole...
if you have-
That's why they love Trump, because they don't have to take any responsibility for their actions. It's everybody else's fault.
But then I thought, where's the tough guy thing come from?
It's
then?
a fake thing.
No, we know that, but they act like he's some tough guy, and I'm like, I know he's stunningly incompetent and has less than zero concern for anything pertaining to American interests, but I would think he would at least pretend. Like, red states can get just as sick as blue ones. You think that even he would be like, hey, we're taking every
bootstraps
precaution.
you pulled yourself up by that keep you safe.
You go, look, whatever the worst case scenario is, because it's easier to prepare for a worst case scenario when people are calm. And most people who get the coronavirus end up just fine. Again, it has a 98% survival rate. I will take those odds if I get it, right? Mm-hmm. It's not that hard to go, hey, we're taking every precaution, rather than like, oh, it's fake and blown out of proportion. I'm like, it's not hard to just go, yeah, we're keeping an eye on it, taking a look at it.
My brother just posted today about why he voted for Trump and why he likes him so much. He says, a man with questionable character and human faults. Like, he doesn't set the bar for great public speaking, and he's not eloquent, and he tweets at 4 a.m., but that just shows that he's human, blah, blah, blah. And he goes on to say, like, that he's the opposite of every dishonest politician that he's ever seen. That
He's
Trump
just a different kind of dishonest?
That Trump says whatever's on his mind immediately, so you know that you're getting... Like, you know what you're getting. This guy tells the truth in that kind of a way. This is what got me. He said he's a man that cannot be bought by any establishment, and a man who doesn't care what the crowd is doing. But this is,
Well,
this is from
whatever.
the mouth. You ask why they believe in him. And
Well, no, I mean, the thing is that, like, if you're among the evangelicals who just think he's the greatest thing.
Right.
Boy, they give a lot of leeway to him that they don't give to other people who check all of the same boxes. Go online and see some of the comments that so-called Jesus people leave for people they don't like. They're like, you should burn in hell. You should die.
that's
this
nicer.
guy, he's
Yeah.
like, he's human, and we got
right.
to...
We like that he tweets at
his
4 a.m.
foibles, and we have to forgiveness. Boy, the forgiveness thing is really
It's very
very capricious.
Gray area.
Oh my goodness.
Well, this is the same brother who told me that I since I'm not a Christian, I can't judge other Christians. When he said, give me 5 things that Donald Trump has done wrong, and I sent him a screenshot of the 10 Commandments, it was like, well, you're not a Christian, so you can't judge him. And
Well-
I'm like, well, now there's more rules that you made up, you know?
Well, yeah, you keep moving the markers,
Yeah.
but anyway,
But I feel like that's what they do throughout the whole thing.
with respect to the
That's what I'm saying,
coronavirus,
not
like
taking responsibility for. That's why they love him, because it absolves them of any personal responsibility.
Yeah.
and forget about patient zero. Let's worry about Coke Zero.
Hey,
Because Coke Zero and Diet Coke, Coca-Cola company's flipping out.
I had a
because
Diet Coke today for lunch.
we get a lot of there's a huge supply chain of artificial sweeteners from China.
Oh my goodness.
And if that is going to be in short supply because of the coronavirus, this is what these companies flip out about. That's what affects the stock market. That's all Trump cares about is the stock market. Doesn't care about the CDC, anything like that. He cares about how it's going to affect him. Guys like Limbaugh who are rich, they're like, this is being blown out of proportion. Now, they may end up being correct. Carlin's correct, too, that, you watch the news, they're like, everyone's going to die.
Oh, yeah.
Granted, there's that, too. But I would rather be over-prepared
viewers.
than under-prepared.
Are they saying that, like, basic hygiene is the way to combat this? Wash your hands?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yes.
Things
Yeah.
you should be doing anyway?
Yeah, they're talking,
But that doesn't work, though. That's how I got H1N1.
You did too much. You killed the good bacteria.
I was going to say, because I walked around with hand sanitizer. I was like, basic Bix,
That's what I'm saying. You
And then-
need some good bacteria to
And-
build your immune
But
system.
let me ask you this.
You bubble boyed it.
Now that you mention it, because Poundcake has told the story, he had the swine flu in college.
No, high school.
High
This
school,
was
he had
high
the
school.
swine flu.
Pig virus, as my college professor
does that
called
make
it.
WNBC? Does that make you more likely to get something like coronavirus, or does it have no effect, or do you know?
I don't know. Technically, I
Like
still have the
virally,
virus.
virally, I wonder if that would make you more prone. If that would compromise your immune system, not that it would kill you, but like if it would just compromise your immune system to the extent where you might be more prone to get this.
I mean, I still have the virus, so I don't think it goes away. But I also don't know how I got it, because technically I was the only one in my school. And I went to a vocational high school that had like 1,200, 1,300 kids. And
Yeah, but-
so someone had to give it to me.
These are the kinds of things you can get anywhere. You can get, if you're standing at McDonald's and you put your hand where somebody sneezed and then you eat your food. You get
But
what I'm
you were
saying?
the-
Like, it doesn't have to come from physically touching another human being who's infected.
But you were the only person at your school that had swine flu.
Yes.
But I'm saying it, didn't have to come from your school.
No,
I
but you would have
understand
thought
that,
anywhere.
But he could have transmitted it to someone. He
Yeah.
might have been
Oh, I
patient
get
zero
it.
at his school.
Yeah, so if I didn't get it from somebody in my school, that means I gave it to somebody. And like the only reason why I knew I had it was because I woke up like I was like, oh my gosh, I'm dying. I feel like I'm dying.
Did you get
And-
diagnosed with swine flu?
Yes.
Okay.
Like I woke up, I was like, Mom, I don't think I could go to school today. And she's like, you are going to the doctor.
Yeah.
And like it was like one of those emergency things. Like we saw. I have never made an appointment and saw the doctor the same day. She was like, I need to.
Well, she's a nurse too, so she could probably
that had
pull.
nothing to do with it.
She
Really?
knows people.
No.
Well, she's like, hey, this is important.
She had made an appointment and she's like, we'll be there at such and such. So I didn't go to school that day. And she's like, the doctor comes in, wringing her hands. She's like, so you have been diagnosed with H1N1. I said, is it the pig flu? She's like, yes, you do have swine flu.
Pig virus.
And I was like, well, I'm going on a trip in like a week. She's like,
No, you're not.
Yeah.
she was like, well, it's a mandatory 5 days out of school. She's still wringing her hands, by the way, making me feel disgusting.
Because you are.
And I was like, well,
But there was no quarantine protocol that she suggested.
Well, she
or-
did-
5 days out of school.
well, it was actually 7, but I had the weekend. So she was like, it's mandatory. It's a week out of school. But she was like, so.
But she didn't suggest like a hospital stay or anything like that.
No, but I had these big giant Tamiflu pills. They were enormous. They were the biggest pill I've ever had to swallow. I'm like,
Did that manifest itself outwardly? Did you have a rash or?
No. On the outside, I looked okay, other than the fact that like my eyes going back and forth and sweating. But
So like usual.
I had a fever of 103, and I was really warm, and I damn near almost died. And my brother wanted to make like a joke about it because he had to. My mom was at work, and he had to like give me my pills and stuff. I couldn't leave my bed, and so he walks in like has like a garbage bag and like his shirt over his face. He's like. Trying to give me my pill. I'm like, this is not the time to make jokes.
Well,
I'm dying.
what joke though? I would be legit worried if somebody in my house had the swine flu.
I had the regular flu when this was big in college, and my roommates, I didn't know. I was sleeping one like taking a nap, and I wasn't sick. And when I woke up, I opened my bedroom door, and they had put Saran wrap over my whole door.
Wow.
And it was very funny to see. They put Saran wrap and caution tape, and they were like waiting for me to record it, but they're like, we're not messing with this.
I was
Like,
reading a thing. I was reading a thing that like hospitals in China, where this thing broke out, had so many cases they had to turn away other people who
Had other
like trauma
problems, yeah.
patients or who were sick, or they're like, where the hell am I supposed to go? Like one guy died because there was no room for him at the hospital because of all the coronavirus people.
So they're like, you are internally bleeding, but we can't take you because you might also get coronavirus?
No,
they
just that they
didn't
had no
have
beds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like
I
they're
thought it was a
trying to build
concussion.
hospitals in a
Yeah.
couple of days, and you know.
In a couple days.
Damn.
Like 10 city hospitals.
That's terrifying, man.
Yeah. Hey, Rick.
How you doing, Mr. Allen?
What's up, Rick?
Nothing much, man. Just taking my time, you know.
I feel you.
Yeah, so how you doing?
I'm great.
Okay. Hello, Miss Mary.
Hi.
Yeah, Bill the sports guy.
Hey, what's up, Rick?
Hey, it's Rick and Sporty.
Yeah, no, Bill's the sports guy.
Yeah.
Hey, we whooped Miami, didn't we?
Oh, I mean, that was a great win. That overtime win. Love it.
Right.
2-1 since we got the new coach, so hopefully we can keep it going tonight.
Yeah, you know
J.R.
what?
Lickbicker doing his job.
Yeah, he looking good. The new coach, and as you know, so we got 76ers, right?
Yep. And they're terrible on the road, so I feel like we have a good shot to win tonight.
That sounds great, Bill. Yeah, man, but I mean, this new coach, he look good, but we still have to wait and see.
Yeah. No one's writing any checks for anybody right now.
Right. It's too early to call it. All right, Bill, for that, Mr. Alan Cox, I'm gone.
Sports.
Take that, Tony Grossi. There's Rick and Sporty
Yeah.
on the Alan Cox Show.
If the Alan Cox Show, if the coronavirus does break out, it's going to take out all of our regular callers. Like, did you realize that, right? Like, Rick's gone, Dick's gone, Drugsu's gone.
I got the coronavirus.
Right.
Yeah.
They're
do
all
something.
gone.
Well,
And AKA Becky's going to call in talking about how it's the second coming of Christ.
We haven't heard from her in
Yeah,
forever.
she has been gone for a while.
He's going to have to rebuild again. All right. Hey, Korn is doing a co-headlining spot with Faith No More. They're going on the road, bringing Helmet and 68 with them, all four bands out at Blossom on September the 13th. That's got to be the tail end of the Blossom season, but get some tickets for you closer to 520. And before we get out of here tonight at 6:30 for your Cavs pregame, another chance for you to live rent-free for a year. We are giving away a 2-bed, 2-bath suite at the Terminal Tower Residences downtown. Grand prize if somebody lives there for free for a year. So that's later in the show, too. 35192 if you want to text. You want to watch live, go to alancoxshow.com. Listen anywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS and everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio app. Cavs game day.